all you fuel injection hot rodders out there that want some information on things, whether you're doing it on a car, motorcycle, whatever. You want to know how to scale a MAF. So you're like me. You want to save as much money as possible, and you get a mystery map sensor. You don't know what this is. It doesn't show up on anyone's list. It's got the sticker on the back, but you don't know what it is. You don't know the rating. It's just a factory replacement of some kind. Is it a 1.5, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 bar? Who knows? So how do you figure that out? Well, most programs, from even if you're tuning on factory stuff like HP tuners, right? There's hystereses that you can set in, or data log, as you'll hear it commonly referred to. So it's where you track a certain part of a sensor, like voltage output. So this outputs 0 to 5 volts. And also, if this was, whether it's a 1 bar, a 2 bar, a 2.5, a 3, a 1.5 bar, a 4 bar, a 10 bar, it's 0 to 5 volts. Now, most car stuff works on 0 volts being a vacuum or a low pressure situation that would be encountered when you're idling a car with the throttle blades closed, or cruising down a hill with the throttle fully closed, to the high volts being wide open and or boost above that. So with that being said, it's literally just changing a decimal point is now equivalent to atmospheric pressure. So how do you test this in the car? Well, you've got Holley, a Megasquirt, AEM, whoever. Take this little guy here, hook it all up, get it all wired up, get some power. All right. We don't know what the hell this is. All I have to do is turn it on and data log the voltage signal from it. And generally that's done, you can do that as a single channel log. You don't even have to set up hystereses like RPM or, runtime versus none of that stuff. Just single channel log. So we're just going to look at the voltage coming out of this. So in an environment like this with external ones like this, you just pull the cord off. If it's on hooked up, just to make sure you got nothing going to it, or just make sure the engine's off. Or if it's one in the engine, you have to make sure it's off. Or you can just pull it out if you want to be extra safe and make sure there's no way anything could be putting any kind of false signal into it. And just look at that voltage. So if it's a 1 bar sitting like this, I should be between 4.5 and 5 volts easy. I'll know what it is. If it's a 1.5 bar, wide open will be about 3.5 volts. All right. If it's a 2 bar, wide open throttle and under a not naturally aspirated condition, we'll call it, or just atmospheric pressure, this should be reading 2.5 volts. 4 bar, 1.25 volts around. So, and none of these are truly a 1 or a 4. They're actually like a 4.05 or 1.05. They always give a couple extra kPa just to make sure that there's no way you could run into a situation where you might need the extra pressure. Just let's say you drove in a Death Valley and you're below sea level and you could, in theory, get more air pressure. So with that in mind, that's all you have to do. That tells you all you need to know. You don't need to go scouring the interwebs, though you can if you want to try to shortcut it. You don't have to do any of that. You just need to hook it up, wire it in, and read the voltage output off of it in a non-running state of the engine. That's it. It's cake. So, and it's a fun tidbit to know that basically all they do when they make higher and higher, PSI rated map sensors is it's all done literally through the scaling of the map sensor. Well, some of it has to do with physical properties of it. You start getting to some of this diesel stuff that's like 150 PSI capable and or 10 bar. So 1 bar is 1 atmosphere pressure. And, that's 150 is about 10 of those. That's pretty huge. But all they're doing is moving that. So on a 10 bar map sensor, let's say, wide open, sitting like this is right now with just the engine not running, just voltage going in and, reading, this would only put out a 0.5 volt. So you can see how critical it is that this functions correctly with the more and more pressure you're putting to them. And also why you've got it scaled correctly. Now, the other thing I can do is I can look at my local weather station, look up, if this isn't putting out a satisfactory number once I switch from voltage over, look at my weather station in the area that gives you barometric pressure, do the calculation to convert it to kilopascals, and done. KPA. It's that simple. Just do the conversion. And it'd be like, okay, I should be closer to here. And I've had to do that with some of them. Some of them just, they're a little off. Sometimes enough to affect fueling on a tune. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And like I said, it's not very hard. All this stuff is simple. It boils down one way or the other. Just got to do it. It's getting to the point, and I'm just saying this is might be a political stance, but in a few more years, with the way the government's been, the only people that will be able to build cool stuff will be people doing it for themselves, because any other circumstance, no one's going to want to do it anymore because it's just going to cost way too much goddamn money. You know, the risk versus reward when you're looking at a $10,000 fine just for tuning a guy's car because he brought it in and he had all his mods done, even though you didn't do them. But, oh, you did this and you made it so that light on his dash didn't turn on anymore. Yeah, ain't fucking worth it. So that's one thing I've been thinking about with my own business, having had a speed shop for a couple of years now, and how hard it's been getting with all the EPA crackdowns and other things, making you feel like a cat on a hot tin roof. It's definitely something to bear in mind going forward. So, you hobbyist guys, the guys that like to do cool things, arm yourselves with knowledge. You're gonna need it. Later.